Here's a question nobody wants to ask out loud. Do beautiful people cheat more often? Before you jump to conclusions, before you think this is about stereotyping or making excuses, let me be very clear about what this video is and what it isn't. This is not a claim that all attractive people cheat, an excuse for infidelity, a way to justify betrayal, a reason to distrust your attractive partner. This is an exploration of psychological and social patterns, an honest look at unique pressures that come with conventional beauty, a way to understand risk factors so we can prevent infidelity, information that could save your relationship. Because here's the reality. Many attractive people are completely faithful. Beauty doesn't make someone a cheater any more than money makes someone generous or intelligence makes someone kind. Character determines choices. But there are unique challenges that come with being conventionally attractive. Challenges that, if not understood and managed, can increase vulnerability to infidelity. More attention, more temptation, more opportunities, more insecurity disguised as confidence. And if you don't understand these patterns, whether you're the attractive person in the relationship or you're with someone attractive, you're walking through a minefield blindfolded. So today, we're exploring 10 psychological reasons why some attractive people struggle with fidelity. Not to judge, not to excuse, but to understand. Because understanding is the first step to prevention. And whether you're trying to protect your relationship or trying to protect yourself from repeating past mistakes, these insights might just save everything. One more thing before we begin. Understanding why someone cheats is not the same as excusing it. These are explanations, not justifications. Cheating is still a choice, a hurtful, destructive, selfish choice. But if we want to prevent it in ourselves or our relationships, we have to understand the risk factors. So let's dive in. Sorry for the interruption. If this resonated with you, please subscribe and comment your one subscribe. Give me motivation. Let's start. Reason 1. Constant attention creates temptation. Let's start with the obvious. Attractive people get hit on a lot, not occasionally, constantly. At the gym, at work, at the grocery store, in DMs, on social media, every single day. Now imagine this. You're in a committed relationship. You love your partner, but every time you leave the house, someone flirts with you, compliments you, touches your arm accidentally, slides into your messages, makes it clear they're interested. At first, you handle it fine. You set boundaries. You say, "I'm taken." You ignore the messages. But here's what happens over time. Boundaries get tested so often that maintaining them becomes exhausting. And then one day, when you're vulnerable, when you're frustrated with your partner, when you're feeling underappreciated or neglected, someone attractive shows interest at the exact moment your defenses are down. And you don't say no. That's the reality for many highly attractive people. It's not an excuse, but a pattern. What this means, if you're attractive, establish firm boundaries early. Make your relationship status unmistakably clear. Don't entertain flirtation just to be polite. If you're with someone attractive, don't try to control or isolate them. That backfires. Instead, strengthen your emotional connection so they want to maintain boundaries. Reason 2. Insecurity hides behind confidence. Here's something most people don't realize. Some of the most attractive people are also the most insecure. Wait, how? Because external beauty doesn't fix internal emptiness. Think about it. If you've been valued primarily for your looks your entire life, you start to wonder, if I wasn't attractive, would anyone care about me? Do people like me for who I am or what I look like? What happens when I age and lose this? That creates a deep, gnawing insecurity. And when that insecurity shows up in a relationship, Some people seek reassurance through outside validation. They need to know they're still desirable. They need to prove they still have it. They chase attention, not because they don't love their partner, but because they're trying to fill an internal void that can never be filled externally. The truth: external validation is a drug that never satisfies. You can get attention from 100 people, and it still won't cure internal insecurity. What this means: if you're attractive but insecure, external validation won't fix you. The cure is therapy, self-work, and building internal self-worth. If you're dating someone attractive, compliment their character, not just their looks. Make them feel valued for who they are, not what they look like. Reason 3: more opportunities mean more risk. This one is simple math. The more people approach you, the higher the probability of poor decisions. If one person hits on you per month, you have 12 opportunities to make a mistake per year. If 10 people hit on you per month, you have 120 opportunities. More opportunities equals more risk. That doesn't make cheating inevitable, but it does mean attractive people face more tests of character. And statistically, the more tests you face, the higher the chance of failure. The principle: character isn't tested in isolation. It's tested through repeated exposure to temptation. And attractive people face that exposure daily. What this means: if you're attractive, build strong character and clear values. Know your boundaries before temptation arrives. If you're with someone attractive, recognize the reality of their experience. They're not exaggerating. They really do get hit on constantly. Reason 4: social influence matters. Here's a truth most people ignore. If your friends normalize cheating, it starts to feel acceptable. You've heard this saying: you're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. That applies to infidelity too. If your social circle jokes about cheating, glorifies hookup culture, dismisses commitment as boring, celebrates body count, treats loyalty as weakness, then over time, infidelity stops feeling like betrayal and starts feeling like just what people do. What this means: if you're attractive, choose your social circle carefully. Surround yourself with people who value integrity and commitment. If you're with someone attractive, pay attention to their friends. If their social circle normalizes infidelity, that's a red flag. Transition: external to internal factors. So far, we've talked about external factors: attention, opportunity, social pressure. But now let's go deeper, because often infidelity isn't about what's happening outside the relationship. It's about what's missing inside. Reason 5: lack of emotional connection at home. Here's a pattern therapists see constantly. People don't usually cheat because they find someone more attractive. They cheat because they find someone who makes them feel more understood. When communication breaks down at home, when emotional intimacy fades, when you feel like roommates instead of lovers, people sometimes look elsewhere for understanding, emotional closeness, feeling truly seen and heard. And physical attraction becomes the entry point for emotional betrayal. The reality: most affairs start emotionally, not physically. They start with deep conversations, feeling understood, emotional vulnerability, and then physical intimacy follows. What this means: if you're in a relationship, prioritize emotional intimacy. Don't let your connection become transactional or surface level. If you're feeling disconnected, address it directly with your partner. Don't seek emotional connection elsewhere first. Reason 6: the thrill of secrecy. Let's talk about something uncomfortable. For some people, cheating isn't about the other person. It's about the excitement of doing something forbidden. The secret texts, the forbidden meetings, the risk of getting caught, the adrenaline. It's the same psychological mechanism that makes some people shoplift even though they can afford to pay. speed even though they're not in a hurry, break rules just because they can. It's not need, it's thrill. And for people who've always gotten attention easily, sometimes the chase becomes the drug. The psychology. Novelty releases dopamine. Risk releases adrenaline. Together, they create a powerful high. But like all highs, it fades, leaving destruction in its wake. What this means: if you crave excitement, find healthy outlets. Adventure, challenges, new experiences. Don't let boredom drive you to destroy what matters. If you're with someone who craves excitement, keep the relationship dynamic. Novelty, adventure, spontaneity. These protect against boredom-driven infidelity. Reason 7. Low self-esteem masked by beauty. We covered insecurity earlier, but this deserves its own point. Attraction from others can temporarily boost confidence when internal self-worth is weak. Here's the pattern. Someone grows up with low self-esteem, maybe from childhood trauma, emotional neglect, past rejection, comparison to others. Then they glow up. Suddenly, they're attractive, and people who ignored them before now want them. But here's the problem. External attention doesn't heal internal wounds. It just masks them. So they become addicted to validation, constantly needing proof that they're desirable. And when their partner's attention isn't enough to fill that void, they seek it elsewhere. The truth: you can't love someone into healing. They have to do that work themselves. What this means: if you're attractive with low self-esteem, get therapy. External validation will never be enough. If you're with someone like this, encourage professional help. Your love alone can't fix them. Transition internal to behavioral patterns. We've explored external factors and internal struggles. Now, let's talk about behavioral patterns. The actions and mindsets that turn vulnerability into infidelity. Reason 8. Impulsiveness. Some people don't plan to cheat. They just act in the moment without thinking about long-term consequences. The psychology of impulsiveness. Poor emotional regulation. Weak impulse control. Living for immediate gratification. Inability to delay pleasure. The scenario: they're out with friends. They've had a few drinks. Someone attractive shows interest. And instead of thinking, "This would destroy my relationship. This would hurt my partner. This isn't worth it," they think, "This feels good right now." And they act. What this means: if you're impulsive, recognize your patterns. Avoid situations where you're likely to make poor decisions. Alcohol plus temptation equals disaster. If you're with someone impulsive, have honest conversations about boundaries. Impulsiveness isn't an excuse, it's something they need to manage. Reason 9. Unhappiness in a relationship. Here's a truth people avoid. Looks don't fix incompatibility, neglect, or unresolved conflict. Two attractive people in a relationship doesn't guarantee happiness. If the relationship has constant conflict, emotional neglect, lack of respect, different life goals, unresolved resentment, then beauty becomes irrelevant. And when someone is deeply unhappy, they sometimes make destructive choices. The reality: unhappiness doesn't justify cheating, but does explain it. People who feel trapped, undervalued, or neglected sometimes check out emotionally first. Seek happiness elsewhere. Make selfish choices. What this means: if you're unhappy, address it or leave. Don't cheat first. If your partner seems unhappy, talk about it. Don't ignore warning signs. Reason 10. Fear of commitment. Finally, let's talk about this. Some people struggle to settle with one person, confusing desire with freedom. They love the relationship, but they also fear missing out. They wonder, what if there's someone better? What if I'm settling? What if I never experience anyone else? This isn't about beauty, it's about commitment phobia. But beauty amplifies it, because attractive people often have more options. which makes the fear of missing out feel more real. The truth: commitment isn't about finding someone you never desire anyone else with. It's about choosing someone despite occasional attraction to others. What this means: if you fear commitment, get honest about what you want. Don't string someone along while you figure it out. If you're with someone commitment phobic, don't ignore the signs. If they're not choosing you fully, that's your answer. Prevention strategies: 300 words. How to protect your relationship, whether you're attractive or with someone attractive. Now that we understand the patterns, let's talk about prevention. 1. Build deep emotional intimacy. Most cheating is emotional before it's physical. Stay connected. 2. Communicate about boundaries. What's okay? What's not? Have explicit conversations. 3. Address insecurity through therapy. External validation won't fix internal wounds. Get professional help. 4. Create healthy accountability. Transparency with phones, social media, friendships, without being controlling. 5. Invest in a relationship daily. Don't coast on attraction. Keep dating each other. Keep choosing each other. 6. Choose character over convenience. When temptation arises, remember your values. Every single time. 7. Surround yourself with people who value loyalty. Your social circle matters. Choose wisely. 8. Address relationship problems directly. Don't let dissatisfaction fester. Talk about it. Fix it or leave honestly. 9. Know your risk factors. If you know you're impulsive, insecure, or thrill-seeking, manage those patterns proactively. 10. Remember, opportunities don't equal inevitability. Just because you can cheat doesn't mean you will. Character is the difference. Beauty doesn't make you a cheater. Choices do. Here's what I want you to remember. Plenty of beautiful people are completely faithful. Beauty doesn't make someone cheat. What makes people cheat? Lack of character, poor boundaries, unresolved trauma, selfishness, relationship neglect, weak impulse control. Beauty just increases the opportunities. But opportunities without poor character don't result in infidelity. So if you're beautiful and faithful, you're proof that beauty isn't the problem, choices are. For those struggling, if you're attractive and you recognize these patterns in yourself, this video isn't meant to make you feel like a walking risk factor. It's meant to help you recognize vulnerabilities so you can protect against them. Self-awareness is power. When you understand your triggers, insecurity, impulsiveness, need for validation, fear of commitment, you can manage them. You can choose differently. For those dating attractive people, if you're with someone attractive, this isn't a reason to be paranoid or controlling. It's a reason to build a relationship so strong that temptation doesn't stand a chance. Because trust isn't built through surveillance. It's built through deep connection, open communication, mutual respect, consistent honoring of each other. The final truth: at the end of the day, beauty fades, character lasts, and the relationships that survive aren't built on looks. They're built on loyalty, communication, daily choices to honor each other. That's what matters. If this helped you understand yourself or your relationship better, Backend Index Pointing Right subscribe for more relationship psychology and human behavior insights. Backend Index Pointing Right comment: character over temptation if you're committed to making wise choices. Backend Index Pointing Right share this with someone who needs to hear it. Understanding patterns is the first step to breaking them. Let's build better relationships together.